Let's see. Hey here, guys. I'm wondering if the audio is working or not. This is my first time going live on YouTube. This is Drew with the Travel Nurses Guide. I have been a travel nurse for almost 5 years now. Um, I've certainly learned a lot as a travel nurse, and I like sharing what I have learned over these past several years with other travel nurses to help you maximize your potential as a travel nurse. Like I said, this is my first YouTube live. So if you're tuning in, this is a Q&A session here. I've got a few topics that I'm going to talk to here. I might glance down over here to look at those. But if you have any questions related to travel nursing, put them in the comments down below and I will answer them as I see them. Some of the topics we're going to discuss today is the pay caps, nursing or travel nurses' pay being capped. I know this is a hot topic. Definitely a lot of emotions towards this topic. I have an opinion. It's my opinion. Yours could be different than mine, but I'll share mine with you today. We're going to talk about rates possibly going down. I know there's lots of rumors that travel nurse rates are going down. And we're going to talk about taxes because it's tax time of the year again. There's been lots of questions in the Facebook group, which if you're not a member of already, check the description down below. I'll put a link to the Facebook group there. So like I said, lots of tax questions. Do I qualify for tax-free stipends? Do I need to do anything? How do I file my taxes? Should I get a CPA? Can I do them on my own? Again, I'm going to share my opinion on all these topics. There's one other thing I wanted to mention. That is the maxed out negotiation course I created last year. And basically, I compiled everything I know about finding good contracts, negotiating them, avoiding mistakes, how to talk to recruiters, how to negotiate extension raises, all kind of stuff. I poured it into this online course. Currently offering a discount on it for this week. You can use the coupon code NOCAP and get $100 off of the maxed out negotiation course. Again, if you are interested in that, check out the description down below. So let's get into some of these topics. If you like these Q&A sessions, press the thumbs up button down below. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm and helps this video get shared to lots of others. I also post videos weekly to the channel here. So if you don't want to miss out on any of the content, be sure to subscribe down below. So let's start out with the pay caps. I think that this is probably maybe the most talked about topic right now with travel nursing. And again, I haven't done a whole lot of research on this, so this is simply just kind of what I've put together and it's my opinion. But I did read the letter that Congress wrote. I heard it was the actual second letter. I'm not sure about that. The first letter I did not read, but I read the second letter, the one that kind of went viral all over Facebook and social media. And my opinion is that the letter never mentioned nurse pay or travel nurse pay caps. I really feel like that Congress is kind of stuck between the hospitals and travel nurses. However, I'm gonna throw out some kind of reasoning, I guess, by my opinion, because me personally, I'm not too concerned about our pay getting capped. For one, there's no other American in this country whose pay is capped. There's not a single profession who there is some legal law saying that you can only make this much money. So that is one. And that is just due to our capitalistic nature. I don't think Congress would even be willing to entertain that. From what I got out of the letter is Congress at least worded it, whether they have some alternative motives where you read between the lines, maybe. But what the letter basically told me is that someone told someone in Congress. So maybe it was some hospital person, some hospital management, some big CEO. Who knows? It could just be somebody who is part of the industry and knows a lot about it. But apparently, someone went to someone in Congress. The word got out that these large or staffing agencies are inflating the rates right now to increase their profits. So I think let's stop there. I think a lot of travel nurses are really kind of heated right now because they interpret this as Congress is saying that nurses don't deserve these rates right now and that we need to stop or lower these rates because they're just beyond what a nurse is reasonably worth. And I don't think that is what they're saying. Yes, the supply and demand of travel nurses has definitely increased the rates. But what Congress is wondering is, did the agencies also influence the rates up as well? And if they did they do it in an illegal manner? Like, did they break any laws related to this? So, what I'm expecting Congress to do is actually probably investigate a lot of the larger agencies that can actually probably influence the travel nurse industry. These are going to be your large MSPs, Cross Country Medical Solutions, IA, TNAA, American Mobile, a lot of these very well known large agencies. They're going to investigate them. I think they're going to find out, did these agencies do any price fixing or monopolizing the industry? It's all this is very complicated and can get kind of detailed. So basically what I'm saying is I don't think Congress is saying travel nurses are not worth what we are getting paid currently. They are concerned whether the agencies have illegally influenced these pay rates to make them go up higher so that the agencies can take more profit. Now, let's say that an investigation is done and they do find some illegal activities that were done by one or multiple agencies. Could it influence travel nurses' pay? Yeah, I think so. It could definitely influence their pay. It could make it go down. However, overall, again, this is just my opinion. I semi support Congress doing this. I think agencies have potentially gotten carried away. My guess that agencies are making 30% profit. They're taking 30 or 40% of the bill rate right now. And again, that is just my guess. I don't have any proof of that. I think agencies are making a killing right now. And I want to make sure agencies are making that money legally. As travel nurses, we fight with agencies all the time. And I look at kind of now as like, Congress is stepping in and they are looking at these agencies to see if they are doing things legally. So, again, this is just my opinion. I would love to hear your opinion. If you think I sound completely crazy, do you agree with me? Or your thoughts, or if anything that you have to add to this topic as well. I gave a scenario to help some people understand kind of, because I know some people don't fully understand well, what can an agency do that would influence the prices or be illegal that Congress is concerned about? I'm going to give an example and I'm going to try and remember, because I gave this in the Facebook group, but kind of explained this example using a realtor and buying and selling houses. I basically said, imagine you have a house that someone is selling. and they are using a realtor or real estate agent to sell the house. And then you have buyers, of course. Imagine having a lot of the real estate agents in that area all get together and say, you know what, guys, we're going to tell the sellers that their house is only worth $225,000 and then we're going to go to all the buyers and we're going to tell them that the house is going to go for $350,000. All the real estate agents will get together and they will all collaborate. I think that's the right word. This story so that then the seller believes their house is only worth $225,000, but buyers all think, this house is worth 350 or whatever it was I said. And instead of sharing that extra profit from the buyer paying 350, the realtor was just like, you know what? I'm going to just take all that money, all that extra money for myself. So I hope, I think this is what, and this again is my opinion, I believe this is what Congress is looking for, to see if the agency is kind of telling the hospital one thing and the travel nurse another. Is the agency in the middle telling the hospitals, oh, rates are going up, up, up. You've got to pay $7,000 a week, but then yet they're telling travel nurses, oh, the rates are going down. We can only pay you $3,500. And meantime, we're going to take everything in the middle. I hope that kind of helps explain at least what I think. Again, if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. Anything to add to that, would certainly like to hear it. Let's talk about the next thing. Let's rates, pay rates. I know a lot of travel nurses are telling me, oh, rates are going down. My rate dropped 2 weeks ago. My recruiter's telling me that I better hurry up and sign. Rates are dropping. I've definitely heard this several times. And one second, guys, I'm looking to see if there's any comments. If you, let's see here. If you're watching, give me a comment. I'm going to see if I can figure out where they pop up at. All right. So rates, I think, yes, COVID right now at the moment is not, it's not peaking. It's not a huge outbreak of COVID. Some of the census have gone down, but there is still a massive nursing shortage. I think, in my opinion, every contract is a crisis contract, regardless of whether you're seeing lots of COVID or not. So do your own research. I really don't care what my recruiter tells me about rates. My decision on what I think is good or bad is based on the research I do. If you want to know how I do research, again, check out the Maxed Out Negotiation course. It teaches you a very simple, efficient process that I use by using Facebook travel nurse job groups. Again, I'm offering a discount on the course this week. It ends, I believe, Saturday morning. So check it out. Again, I'll put it in the description at the end of this video. So again, don't accept the low rates, guys. There's still a massive nursing shortage. Third topic is the taxes. It's tax season again. I know a lot of people are very nervous. They are kind of asking a lot of questions about stipends. There's tons of bad information on Facebook. I think we'll discuss just the stipends briefly, and then how I recommend most people file their taxes. To start with, a lot of people think that duplicating expenses is all you need to do to qualify for tax-free stipends. This is not true. There are 3 requirements to qualify for tax-free stipends. They are maintaining a tax home, which also has 3 requirements to maintaining a tax home. 2 is duplicating expenses, and 3 is distance. You must meet all 3 of those requirements to qualify for tax-free stipends. I will add, just because your agency is willing to pay you tax-free stipends does not mean you qualify for tax-free stipends per the IRS rules, which you need to be concerned about the IRS. They are the ones who will audit you if you get audited, and you will have to prove to them that you qualified for those tax-free stipends that you received. However, if you're not receiving tax-free stipends, if your pay is completely taxed, you do not have to worry about any of these requirements or any of the rules. You could live in a tent behind the hospital. Your house could be right next door to the hospital. You can work there forever and ever. There are just none of the rules apply. All these complicated, or what appear to be complicated, rules only apply if you receive tax-free stipends. So again, there are 3 requirements: maintaining a tax home, duplicating expenses, and distance. A lot of people will say, oh, there is no 50-mile rule. There is not a specific 50-mile rule, but the IRS definitely cares about the distance between your tax home and the location that you are working. I will paraphrase basically what the IRS says. The IRS says that one must stop and rest during their commute to meet the work demands and requirements. And so basically what that means, from my interpretation, is that commuting back and forth each day is not reasonable. I think an hour commute is reasonable. I think, maybe even a little more than an hour is reasonable. And maybe reasonable is not the best word. I think it's possible. So if I feel like so the IRS leaves it very ambiguous like this. They don't give a specific distance because they realize a 50-mile commute in South Georgia, where I'm from, is pretty easy compared to a 50-mile commute in Atlanta, Georgia, or New York City, or Los Angeles, California. So the IRS does not give a specific amount, which is why people say there is no 50-mile rule. Well, they're kind of right, but a lot of people then interpret it as the IRS does not care about the distance, but they absolutely do care about the distance. And like I said, if you get audited and you've been receiving tax-free stipends, you will have to prove to them that commuting back and forth each day was not possible for you, and at least possible for you to do and still meet the work requirements and demands. So I hope that kind of makes things a little more clear for you. If you do qualify for the stipends that you receive, they do not appear on your W-2, and they will not be counted as your adjusted gross income. Again, I am not a tax professional. This is not tax advice, financial advice. I am only a nurse, and anything I'm sharing with you today is only my interpretation, my unprofessional interpretation of what I have learned. So as far as how to file your taxes, you've got all kind of options. You can do it yourself with TurboTaxes, which I've heard TurboTax is a really good software and makes it pretty easy. So that is an option. I have always hired a CPA to do mine. I actually have a side business. So just to kind of make things a little more simple for me, I hired a CPA. I recommend anybody making the salary or the income of a travel nurse. You can certainly afford to pay $200, $300, $400, even $600 for a CPA to do your taxes. It can definitely save you some money. As far as filing, they might know of some kind of deduction or a way to work things that can really get you a bigger refund or pay less taxes, should I say. So there was one other thing I was going to mention. That was if you are concerned about paying taxes and you want to lower the amount that you pay. This can be tough for travel nurses because a lot of travel nurses, we are W 2 employees of the agency. If you're a W 2 employee, there is not much you can write off as a staff or as a travel nurse. Really, any W 2 employee, you can take the standard deduction, which I think is like $12,000, and then you can mortgage interest, the very common stuff, but you can't write off work related expenses and all those other great deductions that businesses get. So, one thing I really recommend you do is look into turning your hobby into a business. Imagine the thing you love doing most. Maybe it is hiking, or maybe you like photography or painting. Imagine turning your hobby into a business, and then any expenses related to your hobby can then be written off as a tax deduction. It's pretty great doing that. That way, you are more of a business then and can write off the expenses of the things you like doing. It's not, there's nothing really complicated about starting a business. Um, you don't have to go have an LLC or any of that. You can be a sole proprietor, which means just you're an individual who is starting a business. You just let your tax professional know, and then you can claim the income from that business, and you can write off the expenses as well. Again, I am not a tax professional. Um, Nor am I claiming. This is just all my interpretation of things I have learned. So that's pretty much it as far as taxes. If there's not any questions related to this, I do want to mention the maxed out negotiation course again. It is a course I created last year. You get, when you purchase this course, you get access to it for life. You can stop and start it at any time. It will teach you pretty much everything I have learned as a travel nurse. It really focuses on finding good contracts, how to talk to your recruiter, how to work with agencies, how to negotiate, mistakes to avoid. Even the last section, I believe, includes like 20 tips for travel nurses. So it's a good resource to go back and review anytime you're looking for your next contract. I will post the link to the course in the description. Also, you can use the coupon code no cap for $100 off. It is February 25th. I believe this coupon expires tomorrow morning. So if you're interested, be sure to take advantage of that. I'll also post a video, a link to another video in the description that explains the content a little more in detail of the course. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live. If you're watching this on a replay, comment replay down below. I would love to kind of see who's watching this live and who's watching it in the replay. So thanks, guys, and safe travels.